DDM 2024.07 sees a couple of enhancements to the Enterprise Update Manager. The Enterprise Update Manager can be found under System, EUM Export, typically used for sending information to an ERP system, but it can be to any other database. If we look at the settings within here, the first enhancement, I'm going to use a part as an example. I'm going to go into DDM and I'm just going to reserve this for modification, and I'm going to roll the status back purely for demonstration purposes. Okay, so what I'd like to do here is I would like to send the information to the Enterprise Update manually. So this is not being triggered by a status change. I'm manually pushing the information out. Now the default location for the output is in this area under local disk design data manager DDM_web EUM output. This is on the DDM server machine. Now the file that I've just sent out is this XML file, and the first enhancement, if I open that file in Notepad++, a very good and useful editor, then the change that we have made is that we've made the URLs related to this item. If I just go to the top, so this XML file contains all of the information about this item, including its number, its issue, its description. Every single parameter is in this file, and we include a number of URLs. The enhancement in the 2024.07 version is that these URLs are now readable. So we are basing this on a specific table, the parts table, and we're now using it by item number, not by sys ID. So previously this was using the sys ID as opposed to the actual part number and issue. So this is essentially a human readable syntax, which is much more useful for people who are integrating DDM with other business systems. The second enhancement is, if you're interfacing with another system, not all systems can use XML-based information, and some of the older legacy systems still use CSV files for import and export. What we've included in this new version is, if I go to here, XML output formatting tool. So we've included a new tool. If I launch the tool here, so this new tool here, essentially it allows us to change the XML format into CSV formats. It covers parts, drawings, documents and bills of materials. We can also configure where the output locations are. So there's lots of options in here, and because it's a technical administration tool, we've put the details on the screen. It's only the administrator that sees this, but it makes it easier to understand. Now the example that we're dealing with is a part record, and because I have an XML file in this folder already, the default location, what I can now do is I can choose what my columns are. So when I click on this, let me move this to the side to make it a bit clearer, is that we are looking at the attributes that are available in the XML file that is in that folder. For example, now at the moment we've got in our CSV file part number, issue, description, create date and status. Well, if I wanted to include create user, which is the create who W, then I can add that to my list. I'm going to move the status up, so this is the order of the columns in the CSV file. So very simple visual tool to allow customers to automatically generate their own CSV files. So if I OK this, we now have an option to say either manually process the files in the folder, or I can start this watching that folder. So if you say start watching, that is now looking at our folder here, and it will process any XML files. My output folder is this one. That's what's being processed, and the output file is this CSV file now. If I open the CSV file, we'll see in here what we have is the number, the issue, the description, the status that we moved to position 4, the create date, and the create user. So a tool to allow customers to manipulate the default XML files and convert them into CSV files for them to be able to integrate into their downstream systems, typically MRP or ERP.